Hey, good morning. We've got Mr. Brian Paes-Braga here with us. Brian, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure, Brayden. Thanks for
And
spending the time.
yeah, no, on this beautiful Tuesday morning, January 5th, we are here, of course, to discuss Lithium X. Ticker is LIX on the TSX Venture. Brian, you are the president, CEO, director, co-founder, brains behind the operation. So pleasure to have you. Why don't you get started for those of us that don't know Brian, maybe a little bit about yourself. How did you get involved? And we'll go from there.
Sure. Well, again, Brayden, thanks for having me. And thank you to your audience for spending the time. My background is one of an entrepreneurial background. I started at a very young age investing in real estate. Actually, at the age of 14, bought my first condo, traded stocks, started at the age of 16, and then dropped out of university in 2008 and joined Jordan Capital, which was a small brokerage firm. We had about 5 employees at the time, 5 or 6. I helped build that over about a 4.5 year period to about 50 employees, 3 offices, and learned from one of the, I'd say the best, personally, I'm biased, but the best mentor in the business,
For sure.
and that was Stu Vorberg.
Mr. Vorberg, yeah, of course.
Yeah, Stu was the founder of Yorkton Securities, built that into what was back in the 80s and 90s, I think the go-to small cap resource funding operation. And he hired, who has been my idol for many years, and now my partner on this deal, Frank Justra, at the ripe age of 22 from Merrill Lynch. And Frank went on to run Yorkton and build it into what it was, with the help of guys like Stu. So after about 4.5 years as a broker and vice president of retail sales at Jordan Capital Markets, I left to join a fund here in Vancouver that managed about $100 million in speculative capital, and I ran and was partners with them on a merchant bank, an exact market dealer, and we put together a few more deals. I think one of the companies you've profiled before, which was Helios Medical
Yeah,
Technologies.
HSM, absolutely. Still a shareholder, big fan. Big news yesterday. So
Big news yesterday. Yeah, just raised another 5 million US.
yeah,
Very proud of those guys. That management team is world class. But as I went through being a broker and then kind of a merchant banker, I finally felt I was ready to go on my own deal and on my own project and build my own company and build real shareholder value. So I was very lucky to come across this opportunity in the lithium space with the partners that I have. And my background is one of on the educational side is I've got a chartered investment management designation, and I did drop out of university just because I was more entrepreneurial, and I did complete that chartered investment management designation online as I was a broker, and I felt that was the right education for me to really go and cut my teeth.
absolutely. And I admire you for that very much. You and I are odd in a sense that we were very active in the markets before we were 20. And
Yes.
there's a story I'll just tell very quick because I've always got a great kick out of it because I'm similar, and that's where growing up you kind of looked at this big house. Well, what's he do? Okay, he's in this business. Okay, let's pursue that, and then he's catering to these clients. Well, what do they do? And just really make sure you're taking advantage of the opportunities at the time, and that kind of leads me to the question of why lithium, why now? Huge buzzwords, probably all we're going to hear for the next few years. Big news out of GM yesterday. There's a lot of this autonomous vehicle talk, and that of course ties into a lot of incredible claims with respect to how many hybrids and electrics will be on the road. So maybe just tell us a little bit why lithium, why now? Why you want to land on that?
Sure. So it's funny, we might look smart now, but when we first looked at the lithium space in late spring last year, the price hadn't moved yet. The price per ton was still around 5,000 US a ton. And what I had seen was other companies in Clayton Valley get a lot of support that I hadn't seen for many years, as the markets, as we all know, have been tough. But other companies were getting huge retail support and lots of traction, and the price hadn't moved yet. The actual spot price hadn't moved yet, or it's actually contractual price because they're based on contracts. And but I brought this project, this Clayton Valley project, to Frank Justra, and I said, I think we should do this. I think there's a great partnership here between a young CEO with a kind of a new product that's really just started, because you look back at lithium, and the demand increase has really come from consumer electronics over the last 15 years.
Yeah, I was surprised to see the percentage. One would think it would be auto batteries. Like I said, it's very surprising what percentage consumer. Yeah.
Well, it's just started, right? Yeah. And then when I brought it to Frank, he's got a Tesla. He's a Tesla owner, and it was as simple as this. He said, "I love my Tesla. I'm never going back to a gas-powered car, and why would I bet against Elon Musk?"
Yeah.
So we decided to go at this and use Clayton Valley and that asset and really being adjacent to the only producing lithium mine in all of North America as a great kind of de-risked opportunity to get going in the lithium space. And for timing for investors in lithium, I think what you'll see on a macro level is the electric vehicle push is of course there, and now the Paris talks that just ended. Everyone's pushing for clean tech. The U.S. government has just extended their clean tech subsidies until 2022, right before the end of last year.
That's right.
And you saw a lot of the solar cities and Albemarles and FMCs and SQMs all really get a great push from that. And I think people are just tired of hurting the planet. I think our generation is one of responsibility, and that's something that's very key to Lithium X is responsible mining, and just really going after things that are in places where we're not hurting anyone, we're not hurting the environment, we're not moving a town, really being responsible. And the time for now, with investors in lithium is the price has moved from about 5,000 US a ton to, I've seen articles saying that it's gone over 12,000 US a ton going into China. Now, I haven't confirmed that, but what I can confirm is that Albemarle has come out and said that they were sold out this year and they were selling 7,500 US a ton. So I couldn't find another commodity that had gone up 50% in 5 or 6 months, and I think it's just gotten going.
Is it not the only commodity that was up for the year 2015? Do you know? I'm trying.
Very well could be.
I'm going to look that up and post under the video, but I'm fairly certain it was actually the only commodity for the year, but that ended up, and of course that trend is probably going to continue. But I just want to ask quick on Clayton Valley, why there? What's so special about Clayton Valley?
Sure. So Clayton Valley is in Nevada, which is a fantastic mining jurisdiction. I think it's number 1 in the U.S., number 3 globally. Yeah. And there's amazing silver assets, gold assets there. Carlin Trend, close to Carlin Trend. There's a lot of good, strong infrastructure. There's strong employment base. And part of the reason for doing this and partnering obviously with Frank and his background is that he's got amazing connections into people. And what we wanted to try to leverage was people, great people, and a good structure to ensure that, and a good jurisdiction to ensure that we could attract the right people to develop this asset. Yeah. And Clayton Valley, it's been producing lithium since 1966. It was operated by Chemitol Foote, and now then was under Rockwood's control. And then Rockwood was bought out for $6.2 billion about 2 years ago by the largest lithium producer in the world today, which is Albemarle Corporation. And Albemarle Corporation is still producing from it today, and we're really looking to leverage new technology that is going to allow there to be less environmental footprint, as well as having a lower cycle. So there's new technologies that are coming out from the likes of Tenova Bateman, POSCO, and others that are really looking to have a closed loop system here to ensure that there's not evaporation ponds that are all over the place. It's actually a closed loop machine that allows for the extraction of lithium and the ability for water to be pumped back out down into the aquifer.
Gotcha. Very interesting. So I got to ask, Frank Justra, obviously Paul Matizik, you're about my age. How do you get buy-in? I mean, these guys, to call them behemoths, to call them whales in our space is an absolute understatement. Frank, I think, has about 10% of the float, if I'm not mistaken. How'd you do it, man? How did you do it? How do you get these guys on board? And touch on that.
Right. I don't know. I think, I think relationships is number one. Frank and I have built a great friendship over the last 2 years. Paul and I have had a relationship for over 5 years, and we've got a good relationship. Now we've become very close friends as it happens on deals and projects. But the reason why Paul got involved and why we wanted him involved was Frank and I looked at each other and we said, who's a guy that's been there, done that as a CEO and founder,
proven
in the what starts as a small cap company and taken it to large cap status.
Yeah.
And I need to remind people that Paul has done that 3 separate times. He took Energy Metals in 2004 at a sub 10 million market cap to 1.8 billion sale. That was a roll-up company in the uranium space. 3 years. He then started Potash One, sold it for 434 million in under 3 years, and then he started Lithium One, which was sold to Galaxy or as part of a merger after about a year and a half. And this is someone, a CEO and founder. So for Lithium X and their shareholders to have I think quite a focused, driven individual like me, pushing forward, having Frank and his global connections from a global financier perspective, and then having Paul Matizik as that CEO founder that's been there, done that. I couldn't ask for better partners, and the Lithium X shareholders couldn't ask for, I think, better people really guiding the ship here.
Absolutely, yeah. It's you want to talk about having some good people behind you. That's it doesn't get any better. So moving quickly to the market here, share price, let's call it 40, 45 cents. I'm seeing somewhere in the neighborhood of 35, 39 million shares. Is that about accurate right now? Okay.
Yeah, but 39 million shares outstanding.
39. So it gives a good indicator of a very, very attractive market cap today. 5 million in the bank, is that right, roughly?
Yeah, $5 million in the bank.
So it's so 5 million cash, incredibly attractive market cap to say the least. On the market front, tell me about real quick on marketing, road shows, traveling, coverage, anything like that you can sort of share for our audience. Any future catalysts of sorts.
Yeah, for sure. It's something that Paul and Frank and myself are very committed to. We are a public company. We're committed to telling our story and getting it out there. So we are doing an analyst site visit January 20th, 22nd. Paul and I and Frank have spent a lot of time out in Toronto with the larger independent investment banks, and that's from the analyst and banking side. And what our mission is with this company, and it'll tie into our ability to market here, is we really want to build ourselves to be a go-to name for people to get exposure to lithium, and kind of the growing marketplace, because there's really a lack of lithium investment opportunities in the public space, a pure play kind of go-to name with different assets and a management team that we have. So we have a big focus on spending time with investment bankers, with analysts, with fund managers, with PR. We want to really tell our story and get a lot of support behind us to fulfill our goals in becoming that go-to name.
Awesome. Really appreciate that. And again, I appreciate sort of this impromptu call. I know you're a very busy man, and can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking the time. Just trying to remember the site people to check out, and I will post it. I believe it was lithium-x.com. Of course, it trades as LIX on the TSX-V. Are you guys dual listed or will be? Not yet, though, correct? On the QB.
It's part of it's part of the It's
awesome. And then you've got fantastic IR gentleman we both know, so I'll maybe post his info as well if anybody wants to get in touch. And hopefully do this again in a couple of weeks or a month or so and see where we're at.
Yeah, let's keep in touch here.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Brian. Have a fantastic day.
You too, Brian. Thank you very much.
Bye.